You are Locked On Syracuse, your daily podcast on the Syracuse Orange. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
For the second straight week, and it's not really a new challenge for Syracuse football this season, but still not going to be easy, they will have to stop an offense with a mobile quarterback and an elite running back. Now, it does slightly differ from the Pitt Panthers, right? We didn't really get a look of really the Pitt Panthers offense against Syracuse because, let's be honest, 3 of their touchdowns came on pick sixes, right? Wasn't the greatest look. It was tough to tell. But heading into that game, just to summarize it for you, Pitt has an elite quarterback in Eli Holstein. They also have an elite running back in Desmond Reed. And Eli Holstein, by the way, is a mobile quarterback, right? He can run, all right? Virginia Tech's slightly different because Pitt runs the ball 46% of their plays, okay? But Virginia Tech, Syracuse's opponent this week, runs the ball 59% of the time. All right, so this is a team that really likes to run the ball. I guess the best way to put it is that Virginia Tech is kind of like Georgia Tech in a sense, where at the second game of the season, it was all about Georgia Tech with Haynes King and Jamal Haynes. They want to run the football down your throat. And the key with them was obviously get ahead so you force them to pass. Pretty similar this week for Syracuse against Virginia Tech. That's the main key, right? Get ahead, score a lot on offense, force Virginia Tech to throw the football because they really like to run the ball. I think what makes Virginia Tech's offense so challenging, though, is because when they're running, you really don't know who is going to carry the ball. You don't know, right? It could be senior All-ACC running back Bhayshul Tuten. This may be the best running back Syracuse has faced this season, right? Desmond Reed of Pitt is a good one. Jamal Haynes on Georgia Tech is a good one. The only reason why I say may be the best running back Syracuse has faced so far this season is because Tuten got hurt at the end of last week's game for Virginia Tech. Now, indications say that he is probable to play. At least that's what Coach Brent Pry of Virginia Tech had to say regarding Bhayshul Tuten. And honestly, I do hope he plays, right? I don't want, because I hate injury excuses. I don't like it at all. Like, I don't like hearing me like, oh, this guy's hurt, so that's why you won. Like, no, I want best on best. Let's go, right? But Bhayshul Tuten's really, really good. He's really good, probable to play, and if he's on the field, he's certainly dangerous to stop. Last year, he ran for over 800 yards and 10 touchdowns, including over 100 against Syracuse last season. That was a blowout game. He's only gotten better. Bhayshul Tuten has only gotten better this season. He is currently second in the ACC with 951 rushing yards. All right, so he averages over 100 per game, well over 100 per game this season. He's third in the ACC with 6.7 yards per carry. 6.7 yards per carry. Think about that for a second. 6.7 yards per carry. So that means if you give the ball to him on 1st and 10, the average would be 2nd and 4 or 2nd and 3. Think about how much of an advantage that is. Getting to 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 3 on every single first down, right? That's the average at least, right? He also leads the conference, by the way, in rushing touchdowns with 5. We're talking about Bhayshul Tuten, the running back of Virginia Tech. And a couple of weeks ago, he set the Hokies all-time record for most rushing yards in a single game with 266. Oh, by the way, he can catch too. He's got 18 catches this season through 8 games. I believe he had 27 last year. So he's an all-around back, someone who is going to be very difficult for Syracuse football to stop. But one of the reasons why it's so difficult to stop him, it's so tricky, is because you have to respect that Virginia Tech, with their quarterback, Kyron Drones, who Syracuse football has seen before, right, especially last season, that Kyron Drones can run. He is one of the best pure mobile quarterbacks in the ACC. Pure mobile quarterbacks, right? Because Eli Holstein, while he can run for Pitt, I wouldn't necessarily consider him a pure mobile guy. Kyron Drones is a mobile quarterback through and through, and he's one of the best in the conference at it. Maybe one of the best in the country at it, honestly. He ran for over 800 yards last season. That included almost 60 against Syracuse. Oh, by the way, he set a Virginia Tech bowl record with 176 rushing yards last season against Tulane. I'm pretty sure Michael Vick played for Virginia Tech. Actually, I'm not pretty sure. I know for a fact Michael Vick went to Virginia Tech. Think about that for a second. He had more rushing yards than Michael Vick had in any bowl game, right? That's pretty impressive stuff from Kyron Drones. When he lines up in the shotgun and he's got Bhayshul Tuten to his right or to his left, you do not know who is going to get the ball. What happens here? This forces the defensive end that's on the quarterback's side. So let's call it the strong side of the quarterback, right? It forces that defensive end to kind of sit back and wait. This is that read option effect because the defensive end has to respect that Kyron Drones might run. When you think of Syracuse's offense and Kyle McCord is in the shotgun, this isn't a knock on Syracuse, but it's just their personnel, right? I'm kind of comparing the two here. When Kyle McCord's in the shotgun and LaQuinn Allen is to his right or left, it doesn't matter, or Yassine Willis, whatever, whoever it is to his right or left, and they're running the football on this particular play, you know that Kyle McCord is probably not going to keep the ball himself. You know that. It's just who Kyle McCord is. He's not the most mobile quarterback in the world. But with Kyron Drones and Bhayshul Tuten, you genuinely don't know. And it creates the effect of the defensive end. They have to respect that Drones might run, so you got to sit back. As a result, on any given play, there's going to be one less player on Syracuse's defense that can pursue the ball carrier. Because if Drones hands it off to Tuten, well, that defensive end on the weak side is going to have to is sitting back already guarding Drones. So that's one less defender that Tuten has to worry about, right? And if Drones keeps it, that's obviously not so good news because that means the defensive end did not sit back and respect the fact that Drones can run. And as a result, Drones is probably going to get a big game. So either way, no matter what, it's a really difficult challenge. I think the best example, maybe in college or pro football, the best example of this effect is go watch the Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry in the backfield at the same time. When those two are in the backfield at the same time, the reason why they are so efficient is because you really you don't know who's going to get the ball. You have to respect that either one of them could, so the defensive end has to sit back. It's why Derrick Henry might run for over 2,000 yards again this season. And it's why every Baltimore Ravens running back prior to Derrick Henry had an obscene yards per carry. When you have that when you have that quarterback who can run almost like a running back, it does wonders for your offense. So, how does Syracuse contain it? The best way to contain it is what I said at the jump. You got to get the lead on Virginia Tech. If you get the lead on Virginia Tech, just like what Syracuse did against Georgia Tech when they had Haynes King and Jamal Haynes, it's going to force them to throw, which is not exactly the strong suit of their offense. It's not their strong suit. They want to run the football. They run the football 59% of the time. So if you can get ahead of them, you can find a way to get a couple of stops early, get a couple of scores early, let's say go up 14-0, all of a sudden Virginia Tech's going to have to throw a little bit more, and that plays into the hands of Syracuse. So it's a tough offense in Virginia Tech. Tough offense with Bhayshul Tuten, an All-ACC running back, one of the best in the country right now, and Kyron Drones, one of the best pure mobile guys in the ACC, if not the country. So that's Virginia Tech's offense.